Are you a sworn police officer anywhere in the state of Ohio with any department?
Not currently.
Okay, that's
Not
the
that,
question.
well,
Not currently.
I'm unsure.
Turn around.
No.
Don't
No.
resist.
No.
Resist, man. Hey, knock it off.
Go. Haven't done anything wrong.
Impersonating anyone is bold, but pretending to be an actual officer? That's next-level stupidity. In these 4 wild stories, wannabe officers thought flashing lights and a fake badge could fool anyone, until they met their match in real, no-nonsense cops. On a crisp September evening in 2023, an Indianapolis police sergeant navigated his unmarked squad car through a congested highway construction zone. His routine patrol took an unexpected turn when a Ford Explorer, nearly identical to Indiana State Police cruisers, appeared in his rearview mirror.
In September 2023, an on-duty sergeant from the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department was traveling through a construction zone in his unmarked squad car when he spotted a Ford Explorer that closely resembled Indiana State Police vehicles.
The driver, 23-year-old Jonathan Becker, wore a neon green uniform shirt adorned with patches mimicking law enforcement insignia. His vehicle, outfitted with white and amber emergency lights, tailed the sergeant aggressively before activating its strobes, a brazen attempt to pull over an actual cop.
Are you a police officer in the state of Indiana?
I already answered this question. I'm not answering again, I already told you. Okay. So you have no answer.
Wait,
now.
don't look forward.
Stop playing games.
There's no games here.
Okay, then I already answered that question. 5 or 6
Well, the reason I asked you before was to make sure if you are a police officer.
I already told you my answer.
Okay.
Stop asking.
You told me you're not a police officer.
I already
You
answered that
understand
question.
why I stopped to talk to you, correct?
The sergeant, bemused but cautious, obliged and pulled to the shoulder. Instead of stopping, Becker sped past, killing his lights and vanishing into the construction zone. Minutes later, the sergeant spotted him parked near workers dressed in matching high-visibility gear. When confronted, Becker denied being an officer, accusing the sergeant of speeding, a claim that unraveled under scrutiny.
I have my gun with me because I'm a police officer.
Alright, well, that's your badge.
I went by you in the car, you mean?
Yep. You put it on to come talk to me?
Correct.
Yep.
Because I wanted to make sure that you knew that before I just come up and start talking to you what was going on.
Alright.
Okay?
Alright, go run me. Let's get this over with.
Do you understand what's happening here and why I'm here to talk to you?
Nope.
You don't understand? Okay. Do you have responsibilities enforcing traffic law on
I'm a flagger.
Okay. Do you have responsibilities to enforce speeding law on the interstate?
His tactical belt betrayed him. A police-style radio mic, Indiana State Police keychain, and black whistle dangled conspicuously, tools no construction flagger would need. Becker's probation records revealed a prior conviction for unlawful display of emergency lights, a charge he dismissively downplayed. Improper use, not unlawful, he argued, though his Ford Explorer told a different story.
Or some kind of emergency vehicle?
A traffic control car. Just
Okay.
like his car,
Okay.
his car,
Which is
just
why
like
I-
his car.
Okay.
We all use
Which is
different
why I
types of
asked you
vehicles.
why you are essentially trying to enforce traffic law on the interstate.
Who said I was trying to do that?
Did you not activate your lights, what you said, to slow me down?
I did not.
You didn't activate your lights?
Nope, and there's a witness.
A search uncovered a radar gun, light siren control box, and a mounted computer, all pristine and operational. Handcuffs, a tactical vest, and body armor lay in the back seat. A Glock magazine peeked from the passenger door, though Becker insisted his firearm was in another car. His probation prohibited weapon possession, a detail he brushed off with a smirk.
Do you have your ID on you?
Come on, we need it.
Well, he's saying you're a witness to this whole thing, so I should probably get it.
This dude, he drives by in his Jeep. We're going what? 60? And it's a 55 on Shaitland.
Mr. Becker, this is your driver's license. Are you on probation?
Yeah.
You're on probation
You
in
already know the answer to that
Hancock
question.
County?
You already know the answer
What are
to
you
that
on
question.
probation for?
You already know the answer to that question.
The sergeant's curiosity deepened. A records check showed Becker owned Indiana Traffic Operations LLC, a company allegedly managing construction zone safety, but Becker's social media painted a darker obsession. His TikTok account, Indy Traffic Cops, boasted videos of his fleet, retired police vehicles retrofitted with emergency gear. One clip showcased a Dodge Charger with a silver IMPD badge, a token reserved for retiring officers, mounted on its dash. His Facebook even flaunted photos of him directing traffic at a church service.
Talk to for flashing their lights on the interstate.
He didn't flash him, but
Whatever you want to call it.
he
bud.
flew by me at
Okay?
80
You're on-
miles
you're
an
on
hour, which
probation
would make
for unlawful display of
a
emergency
reason
lights
for
on
him to
a
believe that he
vehicle.
did
So,
something about it.
Yes, you probably know a lot about the statute.
I
But you
do.
probably, if you're on probation for that, shouldn't be on the interstate trying to slow
No,
traffic down. And this is your lucky day, the car that you try to do that to happens to be an unmarked police officer who happens to be working.
The investigation widened. Body cam footage from a 2022 police funeral procession revealed Becker's Charger weaving among mourners. His Instagram bio declared ownership of law enforcement, a page flooded with 2,000 posts glamorizing patrol vehicles. Even his company's website featured professionally staged photos of Becker standing in highways, arms outstretched like a traffic cop, despite having no legal authority to do so.
It's not your place.
Yeah, because you should know better.
You don't know what I
You're
was
the police.
doing.
I'm not even the police, dude.
So what was I
And
doing?
then you asked me 20
Explain
times.
to me what I was doing.
Weaving in and out of traffic,
No.
no signal, and speeding.
What was I
with
doing?
no due regard.
What was I looking for?
I don't care what you were looking for.
How? So that is
You're
not your
driving
place.
with no due regard.
That is not accurate. How do you
Exactly.
know? Was I
So maybe you
following a
should have
murder
somebody-
suspect?
Becker's fixation traced back to his teens. In 2016, he joined IMPD's Explorer program, a youth initiative for aspiring officers. By 2021, he'd acquired a silver Dodge Charger, outfitted with handcuffs and Ohio State Highway Patrol decals. Officers cited him for impersonation, but Becker shrugged it off. In 2023, he was stopped again, this time with a Glock on the passenger seat and state police-style decals on a new Charger.
So I'm just gonna say you probably know your business and your risk better than. Sure, it's there, but I'm gonna go down that route. Have a nice day.
After the incident, the sergeant reached out to other law enforcement agencies to see if they were aware of similar interactions with John.
His boldest stunt came weeks later. First responders arriving at a crash site found Becker already there, blocking a lane in his Charger. Body cam footage captured him striding among injured victims, firefighters, and cops. None of them were sure who he was. A firefighter later admitted confusion, saying he acted like he belonged but nobody recognized him.
Bio listed him as the owner of Indiana Traffic Operations LLC since September 2022, though he later removed this information. Among the posts on his page was a photo of John changing a flat tire, but what drew attention was his utility belt, which clearly displayed a firearm. Police subsequently reviewed John's TikTok page, Indy Traffic Cops, which contained hundreds of videos showcasing police vehicles, including his own fleet.
By October 2023, prosecutors filed charges including impersonating a public servant, a level 6 felony, and operating a vehicle with false plates. Becker posted a $250 bond but continued his charade. A year later, police arrested him again, this time in a white Ford F-150, another cop car clone. His TikTok had previewed the truck days prior, its cab stuffed with police scanners and tactical gear.
The sergeant particularly noted the images where John was standing in a public roadway, directing or possibly obstructing traffic, despite there being no apparent reason for his presence there. In addition, police found John's Instagram page, where his bio stated he was the owner of a page called Law Enforcement's.
Becker's elaborate ruse collapsed because he targeted the one driver who saw through the act, a seasoned sergeant. Instead of joining the academy, he'd spent years and thousands of dollars on retired cruisers, fake badges, and social media clout, a desperate bid for authority he'd never earned.
Carried a firearm on the passenger seat and tools associated with emergency responders. When officers asked John at the time about the color of the lights on the chart, he replied, "Get a warrant." In May 2023, the sergeant reviewed footage from another agent showing John arriving at an accident scene before first responders. He blocked a lane of traffic and walked freely among injured parties, police officers, and firefighters. At one point in the footage, both a police sergeant and a firefighter.
In the end, Becker's fantasy cost him more than probation. His LLC folded, his fleet impounded, and his name synonymous with fake cop in local headlines. His final TikTok post before arrest featured the F-150's cherry red strobes, captioned, "Protect and Serve." The comments were not nice. For Becker, the badge wasn't a calling, it was a costume, and he'd wear it straight to jail. On a quiet afternoon in Whitehall, Ohio, police spotted a man directing traffic near a utility worksite. At first glance, he appeared to be an officer, dressed in a uniform and using a car equipped with red and blue lights. But something seemed off. Officers approached the man, later identified as 26-year-old Casey Williams, and quickly realized he wasn't who he claimed to be.
An actual Cleveland police officer?
No, I'm not with Cleveland PD. I work for Cleveland Watchmen. We're a security company that hires only off-duty police officers to do traffic control for.
Are you an off-duty police officer?
Yeah.
So who are you with?
Pickway Sheriff's Office.
Pickaway.
Yeah.
All right.
So
So you're out of
they do.
Ohio, and you're here working in Franklin County in Whitehall as
When questioned, Casey explained he worked for Cleveland Watchmen, a security company that hired off-duty police officers for traffic control. The problem? Casey wasn't a police officer.
No, I'm working as security. So we do.
No, your uniform marked as a police officer. You're working as a police officer right now with a car that has red and blue lights on it.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
I've got some paperwork I can give to you from.
Absolutely, and I'll need to get your information. I've been asked to come up here by my deputy chief and get that.
Okay.
Cause yeah, here you. Where's the car come from?
Cleveland Watchmen, the company that I work for.
Casey claimed to be a reserve officer with a village in Richland County, but he couldn't produce any identification or proof of his commission. He handed over a badge, which officers immediately recognized as fake. The badge was plastic, poorly made, and bore no resemblance to legitimate law enforcement credentials. To make matters worse, a former deputy from Pickaway County arrived and confirmed Casey had been fired from their agency. The badge he displayed wasn't just fake, it was a blatant impersonation.
So you're not even a police officer.
Currently, I'm starting a new commission with a village up in Richland County. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but what I'm saying is you're not even a police officer. You're currently not a full-time or a part-time police officer anywhere.
Reserve.
Okay, where are you a reserve officer at?
So give me a second. I'll give you the name of the village because it got hooked up through the company here that I'm working with. So.
Okay, you have an ID from that village.
Not with me.
As the situation unfolded, Casey's story began to unravel. He admitted he wasn't currently a commissioned police officer, but insisted he was in the process of obtaining a reserve commission through his employer. Officers weren't buying it. They contacted the supervisor of Cleveland Watchmen, who revealed Casey had been hired based on false information.
Yes.
What was that badge you were displaying earlier?
That's my old Pickaway one.
So you have a Pickaway County badge, but you don't work for them?
It's a previous one from there, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You have that with you
Flex-
currently?
Yeah, it's a flex badge.
Can I see that, please?
Yeah.
Take a close look at the badge the suspect hands over to police. This will be important later.
From them.
The supervisor claimed he was told Casey had a commission with a village police department, but he had never verified it. The company had sent Casey to Whitehall with one of their vehicles, unaware he wasn't a legitimate officer.
So the company's trying to get you a reserve commission.
They already got one.
They already got one?
So the guy that owns the company, he's in my unit for the guard. And then another guy that's in my unit is chief of police, Sergeant Prober. And let me call John, who is the command sergeant major.
Casey's attempts to explain himself only dug him deeper into trouble. He admitted to displaying a fake badge and acknowledged he knew it wasn't real. Despite his pleas for leniency, officers informed him he would be charged with impersonating a police officer and improper handling of a firearm in a motor vehicle. As officers instructed him to remove his gun belt and prepared to take him into custody, Casey, visibly shaken, complied.
Regulate traffic.
I know.
Yeah.
But he worked
Look,
for
feel
them.
it.
He worked for Pickaway.
What's his name?
He's got Casey Williams.
Casey Williams.
Oh yeah.
He's over there. You know
Casey?
him?
Yeah, he was fired from Pickaway.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, he's displaying their badge out here.
That's a made badge. That's not our badge.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't provide those and we don't approve those.
The search of Casey's vehicle revealed even more incriminating evidence. Officers found a loaded rifle in the back seat and a jacket marked Deputy Sheriff in the trunk. The discovery added another layer of deception to Casey's already questionable actions. He was placed in a patrol car and transported to jail, where he was booked on the charges.
Is he an actual police officer?
You are an actual police officer, correct? Okay. Yes, he is. Where are you commissioned at?
It doesn't matter. He's not here doing anything.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's the superintendent of the State Highway Patrol. That's irrelevant to the situation. So you can talk to him if you want, Rex, but I got it.
Yeah.
Casey sort of admits to not being a police officer and gets a hold of a company supervisor who doesn't exactly do him any favors.
For Casey, the consequences were severe. His attempt to pose as an officer ended in arrest, tarnishing his reputation and potentially derailing any future future aspirations in law enforcement. For the officers involved, it was a reminder to remain vigilant and ensure those claiming to serve and protect are who they say they are. On a quiet day in Vero Beach, Florida, police pulled over a speeding SUV flashing red and blue lights. The driver, 43-year-old James Tedesco IV, claimed to be a retired firefighter from New York, but his story quickly unraveled under scrutiny.
We don't have to travel far as our next suspect is pulled over in Vero Beach, Florida, where you won't believe what police uncover.
Can you roll the windows down, please? Deputy Gruber with the New York County Sheriff's Office, just letting you know this traffic stop's being audio and video recorded.
Officers identified him after he was caught speeding at 100 mph with unauthorized police lights. When questioned, Tedesco insisted he was responding to a fire in Miami, but his explanations were inconsistent and riddled with holes.
Why are we running red and blue lights? Okay. Why are you running red and blue lights?
Oh, we heading out to Miami for something.
For what?
For a fire. I work for them down there. I just retired from the fire department. So
where are you coming from?
I'm coming from north.
Where's north?
Yeah, I just came from Mims, Florida.
Who's north?
What do you mean?
You just said I came from north.
I just turned around and came from north to south. Yeah. I came from Mims, Florida.
Okay, and why are we running code?
Right.
You see the issue we're having?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, it's my fault.
Tedesco told officers he had just come from Mims, Florida, where he had been fishing and was now heading to Miami for a fire. However, his story shifted when pressed. He admitted to being a retired firefighter, but couldn't provide a valid reason for using emergency lights in his personal vehicle. So naturally, officers grew suspicious and decided to dig deeper.
Lights. You weren't running signs. So why are you trying to be a cop?
I'm not trying to be a cop.
You're not. Who else has red and blues?
Fire department. New York City
Is this a fire department vehicle?
No, it's not.
Does this fly in New York? It does?
They don't have a problem.
Well, I'll make a phone call real quick. You hang tight.
When asked for the phone number of the fire station where he claimed to work, Tedesco hesitated before providing a number. Officers called the station and spoke with a lieutenant who confirmed Tedesco was a retired firefighter, not an active one. The lieutenant also revealed that Tedesco had retired in 2003, long after his claimed involvement in 9/11. This revelation shattered Tedesco's credibility, as he had tried to leverage his supposed heroism during the tragedy to gain sympathy.
Let's rewind.
What's the phone number to your station?
Fire Department, New York City, expires February 1st, 2022.
Hi, is this a fire station? Hi, this is Deputy Gruber with the New River County Sheriff's Office. Is there a lieutenant or somebody I can speak to? Thank you, sir.
Tedesco admitted to having 2 firearms in the back seat and trunk, as well as a small amount of marijuana, but the vehicle search uncovered far more than Tedesco had disclosed. Officers found an NYPD jacket, 2 AR-15 rifles, hundreds of rounds of ammunition, and additional marijuana totaling 38 grams. They also discovered a DEA hat, a gas mask, an NYPD bag, and a pair of brass knuckles. The collection of items painted a troubling picture of someone impersonating law enforcement.
Is he an active firefighter at your department? Okay.
Yeah, he's a retired member.
He's a retired member. So he's not active. He's not active with you guys?
No.
Yeah, he's running lights and sirens down an interstate, telling me he's on his way to a fire in Miami.
Tedesco's attempts to explain himself grew increasingly desperate. He claimed his father was higher than the mayor and pleaded for leniency, but officers weren't swayed. The discovery of official-looking badges and paraphernalia only added to the evidence against him. Tedesco was arrested and booked for impersonating an officer and possession of marijuana. His SUV, filled with weapons and suspicious items, was impounded.
One officer finds a New York Police Department jacket, but that's just the tip of the iceberg as investigators continue searching. From here, the officer mutes his body cam, but we can see investigators uncover 2 AR-15s and hundreds of rounds of ammo, but we're not done yet. Moments later, officers find that marijuana James mentioned, along with other official-looking badges and a pair of brass knuckles.
The incident highlighted the dangers of police impersonation and the importance of verifying credentials. Tedesco's elaborate ruse, complete with emergency lights and official gear, could have easily misled the public. For the officers involved, it was a reminder to remain vigilant and thorough in their investigations. For Tedesco, the consequences were severe, marking the end of his charade and the beginning of a legal battle. On a chilly January morning in 2024, officers were called to a bank where a man was attempting to pull off an audacious identity theft scheme. The suspect, later identified as a 51-year-old, had walked into the bank with forged documents, trying to withdraw $4,000 from a checking account that wasn't his. The bank teller, sharp and alert, noticed discrepancies in the documents and immediately called 911. Within minutes, officers arrived, ready to confront the man who thought he could outsmart the system.
Who are you? My name's Officer Bell, okay? You're being detained right now, all right? You're not under arrest, all right? I'm gonna put your hands behind your back, please. Do you have any weapons on you?
The suspect, visibly nervous, was detained by Officer Bell, who calmly explained the situation. The man claimed his name was Mark R., but his story didn't add up. His ID was out of state, and the address on it didn't match the bank's records. When questioned, he stumbled over his words, mumbling excuses and failing to provide a coherent explanation.
Like I said, you are not under arrest. I know it feels like that right now, right? Okay. Again, my name is Officer Bell. You have the right to remain silent, refuse to answer questions. If you begin to make a statement, you can stop at any time. Do you have an Ohio driver's license?
Yeah, she has it.
Okay. What's the address on your license?
The bank's security team had been tracking the suspect for days. They had video footage of him attempting similar schemes at other branches, always using fake IDs and social security cards. Each time, he left before completing the transaction, often leaving behind incriminating documents. This time, however, he wasn't so lucky. The teller had been briefed on his MO and recognized him immediately. She stalled him long enough for the police to arrive.
I want you to actually have a seat over here in this white chair with this officer, okay? All right, have a seat. I'll be right back with you, okay? He was patted down for weapons. Okay, so are you familiar with what's going on right now, or?
Yeah, so, I went to my workout.
I'm sorry, what?
Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just got very nervous.
Yeah.
As officers continued their investigation, they discovered the suspect had a history of fraudulent activity. He had hit multiple banks in the area, always using different identities but never changing his appearance. His signature move was presenting slightly altered social security cards and out-of-state driver's licenses, which raised red flags for bank employees. Despite his efforts, he had never successfully withdrawn any money until now.
Somebody doesn't actually he confirmed with videos this gentleman is the same gentleman who's been at multiple branches impersonating multiple FMB customers with fake IDs and fake social security cards.
Okay.
So he has all the background details on everything. He actually watched as you came in. Like I said, he confirmed previous videos. That's the same gentleman.
Officers used a mobile fingerprint device to confirm the suspect's identity. The results came back with a hit, revealing his real name and a suspended status from North Carolina. The man, now cornered, tried to backtrack, claiming he was forced into the situation. He admitted to having a Capital One credit card and other documents that didn't belong to him, but refused to explain how he obtained them.
Where did Chippy go?
He had to use the restroom.
Okay.
Back on the trailer.
Okay. If you see him before I do, can you have him go back to the station and grab the ref ID, or we could probably just do it at the station ourselves, but I don't know if we're going to be taking him back for anything yet.
He was trying to withdraw $4,000 on the bank account.
Okay.
There's only $4,500 in the checking, so of course they were looking at different things.
The suspect's vehicle was searched, revealing more evidence of his fraudulent activities. Officers found multiple fake IDs, social security cards, and other documents in various names. It was clear this wasn't his first rodeo. He had been meticulously planning these heists, targeting banks with precision and always staying one step ahead, until now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so it sounds like he's going at a minimum, but we'll try and figure out what this whole thing is and get him booked on one count of, I think, he said identity fraud or something. Yeah, you want to take him or you want me to?
The man was arrested and charged with forgery and theft of identity. His elaborate scheme, which had spanned weeks and multiple locations, finally came crashing down. For the officers involved, it was a satisfying conclusion to a case that had been building for some time. For the suspect, it was the end of the line, a stark reminder that crime, no matter how carefully planned,